What did Jesus and the disciples do once the limited commission was over? This is the question that we seek to answer today as we continue our verse-by-verse study of the book of Mark on walking through the Bible.
The glory of his cross.
If you have a Bible with you, turn to Mark chapter 6. We're going to be reading from verses 30 to 34. If you don't have a Bible, don't worry. Just follow along with us on the screen. The version that we'll be reading from is the New King James Version. So, Mark chapter 6, beginning at verse 30. Then the apostles gathered to Jesus and told him all things, both what they had done and what they had taught. And he said to them, "Come aside by yourselves to a deserted place and rest a while." For there were many coming and going, and they did not even have time to eat. So they departed to a deserted place in the boat by themselves. But the multitude saw them departing, and many knew him and ran there on foot from all the cities. They arrived before them and came together to him. And Jesus, when he came out, saw a great multitude and was moved with compassion for them, because they were like sheep not having a shepherd. So he began to teach them many things. After a short detour by Mark in explaining the death of John the Baptist, we return to the main narrative of the chapter, talking about the limited commission. By verse 30, the apostles had returned from the commission and told Jesus all the things that they had done and preached. We don't know how much time has elapsed, but it could be as much as 6 weeks, maybe more, due to the fact that the disciples were walking on foot and not simply traveling to one city, but multiple cities. Upon their return, again, they reported to Jesus on what had happened. Preachers who receive support from other churches than the one that they work among often send reports to other churches as to how their work is going where they are. They will report on how the spread of the gospel is progressing, what lessons are being taught, what outreach is being attempted, what the plans for the future are, and things like that. The purpose of these reports is so that the church can understand whether or not their financial support is beneficial to their work, which is, in that case, evangelism. Well, here in Mark 6, the disciples needed to report to Jesus the things that they had taught so Jesus could ensure that the truth was being taught. Remember, the disciples didn't have a full knowledge about the kingdom yet. They only had what Jesus had told them, so ensuring they were relaying that message properly was important. Jesus didn't react negatively to their report, so we can assume that he was pleased with the apostles here. After hearing their report, Jesus told the disciples to come to a deserted place and rest a while. What he is describing here, we might call a short vacation. Sure, it's not to some exotic destination, but it was a chance for the disciples to rest from their work. Our bodies were created in a way that allows us to work, but they were also created in a way that requires from time to time we rest in order to recharge our batteries, as it were. In our fast-paced society today, rest and vacation is often neglected in the pursuit of promotion or more overtime money that we can spend. The result of this lack of rest is our bodies begin to break down. We have back pains, leg and arm pains, or sickness. Our brain becomes so overloaded that we have trouble remembering things or functioning properly in our regular daily routines. Even our emotional state can take a toll, with depression often setting in. When things like this begin to happen, all of us should take a step back and consider whether we have been pushing ourselves too hard and whether it's time we should take a break from our work in order to rest. If you haven't noticed, this podcast is 7 days a week. But each quarter there is a break, meaning that we plan to only run about 40 weeks a year or about 280 podcasts. Each episode takes about an hour to write, 15 minutes to record, 15 minutes to edit, and 10 minutes to fully upload. So in total, each episode from writing to upload takes about 1 hour and 35 minutes to make, meaning a week of episodes means it's about 11 hours and 40 minutes to complete. If you were to multiply that over an entire year, such would be too much work to complete along with the other duties that I have with the church I work among. That is why I take a break once a quarter in order to rest from the hard work of my labor. I believe that is one of the reasons that God made the Sabbath, to force the Israelites to rest and rejuvenate. It was not meant as a punishment, but as a reward. Even though we're not under the Sabbath restrictions today, we would be well advised to select a day where we rest from our work and relax, so that we don't overtax our bodies. Jesus gave his disciples such an opportunity, and so should we. Unfortunately, however, their rest was short-lived, for as Jesus and the disciples got into the boat to go to the deserted place, some of the people saw them leave and, coming from every city, beat them to the other side of the Sea of Galilee. Now, Jesus could have sent them away, But he saw the people and had compassion on them, because they were like sheep without a shepherd. He was the chief shepherd who could provide them the words of eternal life, so he began to teach them many things. What about the rest that he promised to the disciples? I'm sure that they would have the opportunity later, but a unique situation arose to teach, so Jesus took the opportunity to do so. Note here, however, that Jesus took the lead, not the disciples, showing us that Jesus still didn't expect them to overtax themselves after their journey. With that, our time is up for today. The Lord willing, we hope you'll join us for tomorrow's discussion of Mark chapter 6, verses 35 to 44, as we continue our walk through the Bible, one verse at a time. Thank you for watching today's episode. We hope that you found it edifying and ask that you not only subscribe to our channel and podcast, but that you like and share this episode among your friends, so that the saving gospel of Jesus Christ can go out to the whole world.